Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Teacher Josa, your subject teacher for the subject Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. Shout out to Atasha Colobong of 11 Dynamism. Thank you, anak, sa yung comment sa aking video. So, for all our viewers, how's your day in our online class or in your online class? So if you're not feeling well, please take some rest, drink water, and inhale, exhale. Iwas hilo, iwas sakit ng katawan. All right. Last meeting, our topic was all about branches of philosophy, metaphysics, and epistemology. When we say metaphysics, that is a branch of philosophy that examines the nature of reality, and epistemology is a branch of philosophy that study the nature, origin, limit of human knowledge. We also discuss Plato's allegory of the cave, and you give a specific example or modern example. So let's, for today's lesson, let's play this game. Would you rather? Choose from two options. Would you rather be a dog or a cat? Would you rather lose an arm or leg? Would you rather be toothless or bald at 50? Would you rather have sex or eat chocolates? Would you rather eat fried rats and fried cockroaches? Would you rather find true love or win the lottery? Would you rather freeze to death or burn to death? Would you rather save your mother or father? So it's it's hard to choose, right? So for today's discussion, our content standard is understands the meaning and process of doing philosophy. Our performance standard is reflects on a concrete experience in a philosophical way for you to reflect on concrete experience. Distinguish a holistic perspective from a partial point of view. For our specific objectives, analyze the branches of philosophy through a class activity, Mr. and Miss Philo 2020. Appreciate the value of branch of philosophy or branches of philosophy through an activity, pass the crown. And I want you to share a winning statement in the class, psychomotor. So let's start. So axiology is concerned with the value theory that attempts to prescribe what is good and right conduct. So it's all about theories of or the foundational theories that would attempt to describe what is good and what is right. It's more on explanations saan nanggaling yung mga pinanghuhugutan natin na mabuti at masama, okay at hindi. Okay? So, ethics comes from Greek word ethos, which means custom, usage, or character, and ethics as part of axiology. So, ethics means customs, usage, or character. It's a philosophical study of moral judgments. Explores the nature of moral virtue and examines human actions. Imagine that you are standing beside some tracks, and in the distance you spot a runaway trolley going down the track toward 5 workers who cannot hear it's coming or it coming. Even if we do not spot it, they won't be able to move out of the way in time. As this disaster looms, you glance down and see a lever connected to the truck. You realize that if you pull the lever, the tram will be diverted down a second set of tracks away from the five unsuspected workers. However, down this side track is one lone worker, just as oblivious as his colleagues. So, would you pull the lever leading to one death but saving five? Diba? It's difficult and it requires a lot of time to think, to judge, and to decide. Okay? So that is a mind quenching dilemma. What I just shared is one of the world's famous crux of classic thought experiment known as the trolley dilemma. It's developed by philosopher Philippa Foot in 1967 and adopted by Judith Jarvis Thomson in 1985. The trolley problem is a series of thought experiments in ethics and psychology. It involves ethical dilemmas of whether to sacrifice one person to save a larger number. The trolley dilemma allows us to think through the consequences of action and consider whether its moral value is determined solely by its outcome. So that is ethics. Ethics is also known as philosophy of morals because it tries to seek for a means on how to determine as to whether the action is to be considered good or evil. While axiology is more on value theory that attempts to prescribe. When we say prescribe, give, for example, give prescription to people what is good and what is right. So for question, it's questions kasi it's series of questions. So question number 1, what do you think makes something right or wrong? So maybe your answer is we base our judgment on standards of our community, our religion, our own experiences, experiences of our parents, and the laws and regulations, and many reason. So next is aesthetic. Aesthetic comes from the Greek word aesthetis, which means harmony. This is a branch of philosophy that deals with beauty and harmony. The organization, for example, of colors, the arrangement of lines and structures. So we call it aesthetics. It's also known as philosophy of art. So question number 2, what do you think makes something beautiful or not? So let's watch this short video. Courtesy, syempre, ng YouTube. Maasai tribes of Kenya. The Maasai tribes of Kenya have been stretching their earlobes for centuries. The older the person is, the longer their earlobes tend to be. The Maasai women stretch their earlobes over time with various size horns, rocks, or sticks. Once they are done with the stretching process, they decorate their earlobes with beaded ornaments. Stretched lips, southern Ethiopia. When a girl is becoming a woman in the southern Ethiopian tribe, they will start the lip stretching or lip
deflating process. Over a period of time, she and her family will keep stretching her lip until it is about 8 to 20 centimeters in diameter. At that point, the woman will put a plate in her lip, which she takes great pride in decorating. The process is also important as it is a part of wedding rituals in their culture. Elongated necks. Thailand. From the time they are 4 years old, the women of the Kayan tribe in northern Thailand start putting brass coils around their neck. As the woman ages, she gets more and more coils. Eventually, the coils elongate their neck, which is considered beautiful in their culture. Though it seems like they are growing long necks, it's actually the weight of the coils pushing their shoulders down that gives the illusion of the desirable long necks. Fat farms. Mauritania. In the Western cultured world, it's hard to believe that people would actually send their young daughter to fat farms to pump them up. That is exactly what they do in Mauritania, where being curvy and having stretch marks are most desirable. Girls are sent to camps where they are force fed up to 16,000 calories a day, all for the sake of being able to get married. Red clay skin and hair. Himba people of northern Namibia. The Himba people of northern Namibia slather themselves head to toe in a thick clay called ochis. The ochis is made from ochre, fat, and aromatic resin. When applied to the hair and body, it turns everything an orangish red, which is supposed to symbolize blood. To the Himba people, blood is the essence of life. While this is a beauty standard, it actually serves a second purpose. The ochis also helps protect their skin from the sun and heat. Scarification, Ethiopia's Karo tribe. The ancient ritual of scarification in Ethiopia's Karo tribe seems a bit brutal, but is still practiced today. It is a long, painful process that includes women cutting patterns into their faces and chests with sharp objects like glass or knives. Once the wounds are open, the women rub charcoal or gunpowder into the openings so that the wounds will form keloids once they heal. Over a period of time, women can add more and more scars to themselves. They think of scars as artwork and admit that the only reason they still perform scarification is to attract men. Face tattoos. Maori. The Maori are the indigenous Polynesian people of New Zealand and have a rich and interesting culture. Maori men and women have been using face tattoos or facial moko to enhance beauty, show social status, and show personality for centuries. No two facial moko are alike, and women usually have a less extreme version than their male counterparts. Maori women usually get facial moko on their chins, and they believe this defines and flatters the face, draws attention to the eyes, and can even correct facial flaws. Surgical bandages. Iran. When it comes to beauty standards around the world, most cultures agree that noses are important, but none of them take it as far as women in Iran, which has now become the nose job capital of the world. Iranian women are born with what they believe are unflattering noses, so when women are old enough, they get them fixed. To them, wearing their surgical bandages from their nose jobs are like wearing a bandage of honor. Women will even fake getting nose jobs and wear fake surgical bandages, all for the sake of being desired. Teeth filing. Indonesia. In Indonesia, it is customary for boys and girls to go through natata, or teeth filing. By the time they hit puberty, this makes the teeth look elongated and sharp and is considered quite beautiful in their culture. The custom is said to help the soul remove sadistic urges like jealousy and anger. While people don't have to get it done exactly at puberty, it is a custom that must be done before someone can get married. What did you think of these unusual beauty standards for women around the world? React in the comment section below and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the page.
So that we have different standard of beauty around the globe. Let me share my screen again. So actually, we also a lot of beauty standards circulating online, but the question is it really the standard of real beauty? So for you, what makes you think something is beautiful or not? Next, a branch is logic. It comes from Greek word logic and was coined by Zeno, the Stoic, 340 to 265 BC. It deals with the truth of or the validity of our argument regarding such objects. And it's the theory of correct reasoning, which seeks to investigate and establish the criteria of valid inference and demonstration. If you're going to look one book of logic, this is my favorite book. You're gonna see its content. You're going to study premises and conclusions, argument in context, recognizing argument, deductive and inductive reasoning in argument, problem solving, the basic function of language, discourse serving multifunctions, the forms of discourse, emotive words, fallacies, different type of fallacies, definition of uh, denotation and connotation, and rules and fallacies, language, symbolic logic, proof of validity, proof of invalidity, inconsistency, and different methods of experimental inquiry. Last part is logic as right reasoning. So in logic, we study the development of, for example, arguments, try to analyze the premises and produce quality reasons or good reasons, valid reasons based on evidences, based on facts. That's why our next lesson, I think, is about argument and fallacy. So why is it important to know the truth or the validity of an argument? For our learning activity, you're going to answer one question. Questions yung nakalagay dyan, pero one question lang, given by me through a short video clip. The class and the teacher will select the individual who has the best answer. So make a short video containing the answer to the question, what is the role of Filipino youth towards the future development of the country? World po yan, ha? We are going to write a question, then the answer of your classmates, and then your answer. For our valuing and application and generalization, the winning candidate will pass the crown to the audience who will answer, how are you going to apply your learning in today's lesson? And the winning candidate will generalize the lesson. I believe that. For our additional activity, what is the importance of knowing the different branches of philosophy? Do you think that philosophy has covered everything that there is to learn? And why do you think philosophy is divided into branches? So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Happy watching.